Alright, let's go over the mistakes. We have number 4. And this one, I just did it, but let's do it again. So all we have to do here is move the negative 22 to the left. And we're going to use the quadratic formula. So y is negative b, which is negative 10, negative 10, plus or minus b squared, which is 100, minus 4 times AC, which is an 88, and this is all divided by 2 times 1, which is 2. So now I have 10 plus or minus square root of 12 over 2. Let's split the fraction. So you have 10 over 2 plus or minus. Now square root of 12 is nothing but 4 times 3. The 2 will come out, so we're going to have 2 square root of 3 over 2. Now we can cancel 5 plus or minus square root of 3. So that's how they got the answer, 5 plus or minus square root of 3. Let's move to number 5. And on number 5, we need to solve for t. So all we have to do here, 7sg over g. Okay, so yeah, that's a typo mistake, but let's go over it here. We have s equals 1 over 7 gt squared. We are looking for t, so let's multiply by 7, divide by g. So multiply by 7, you get 7s, and here multiply by 7, it will cancel. So we get gt squared. Now we want t, let's divide both sides by g. So we have 7s over g equals t squared, and therefore t equals, we take square root on both sides, but we have to do the square root property, which is always plus or minus 7s over g. So that would be the final answer. Now we need to rationalize the denominator. To rationalize, we multiply up and down by square root of g. And this would be plus or minus, the numerator by the numerator would be 7sg. The denominator, g times g, is g squared. So we have a square root here, but here the square root of g squared is just g, and that would be the final answer. And this would be t here. T equals 7sg over g. So by rationalizing here, you multiply up and down by square root of g. So in the numerator, you get 7sg under the radical. But in the denominator, square root of g times square root of g would be square root of g squared. And the square root of g squared is g. And that's why we don't have a radical in the denominator here. All right, number 8. On number 8, I need to solve, and I have a rational equation here, so I have to take the common denominator and multiply everything by the common denominator. So 7x plus 1 over x minus 2 plus 3 over x equals negative 6 over, take a common factor x, so it would be x minus 2. And in this case, you notice that x times x minus 2 is the lowest common denominator because it's divisible by each of the other denominators. So let's multiply everything by x times x minus 2. If you multiply the first by x times x minus 2, the x minus 2 will cancel, and so we end up with x times 7x plus 1. If you multiply the second fraction by x times x minus 2, the x will cancel, and we end up with 3 times x minus 2. On the right side, if you multiply everything by x times x minus 2, you will end up with, they will cancel, and you just end up with 6. So this is another quadratic equation. We have 7x squared. Now here we have an x plus 3x, that's a 4x. Here we have a minus 6, and then move the negative 6 to this side, it would be plus 6. So that's a 0. Take x as common factor. You will end up with 7x plus 4. Either x equals to 0 or x equals negative 4 over 7. Now we're going to make sure that neither this value nor this value will make the denominator 0. Of course, x equals 0. This is 0. A number over 0 is undefined, so we have to reject this value. The negative 4 over 7 is the only solution. So that's the only solution, since it will not make the denominator 0 in any ways. All right, so that's it.